I'm Black Lightning, and I recently did a voting to poll on Twitter to see if people like the idea of me doing behind the scenes. And for the most part, 7 out of 8 people said yes, so here I am. So wow, yeah, pretty extensive collection here. So there's about 10 chapters in total, including both animated and motion comics. I'm gonna do the first four for now. So I'm gonna start with the first one that started it all, Multiverse Chamber Chapter 1. So, yeah, originally I wanted this to
What
be
is
the
this
main
place?
story, but eventually I decided to change that and make this its own thing, and the motion comics feature its own story. Which is why the first 3 chapters of the motion comic universe are so drastically different. Let me turn this down. Oh my gosh, I should have tested this a little bit more, but yeah. Yeah, this is. It somewhat holds up today. The problem I have here is that Toon Boom often causes these little white lines to appear, and I really hate it for that. At the moment, I don't have another program to replace it with, so I have to deal with this every time I export an image. Like, this is something I would have found out. I would have saw this immediately because I'm just so much of a perfectionist that I just criticize my own work heavily. But I don't think it's that distracting, but it's just there, and I don't like it. Yay! So yeah, this is the opening of season Cyan, and for the most part, it still holds up. What I plan to do, if I ever get to do a new season, is each opening will have its own, will be tailored towards the specific story. So there will be an opening for the animated universe, an opening for the motion comics universe, and an opening for the newest subdivision of stories called Binary Rose Fragmented Stories. And yeah, the little Black Lightning thing.
The hell?
Yeah, I wish I
Hi.
had changed the name way before
Welcome
now.
to the Multiverse Chamber. Don't be
So it's a
alarmed.
bit
I
jarring
open the portals
seeing
to various universes.
Black Lightning when
I
really
see.
it's Binary Rose now. Yeah, the character designs here are a
Each
bit
universe have
rough,
their own
but
rules
I
and
still
laws
like
that you
it.
must abide to if you enter
Kind of
them.
holds up still.
Why does this person look familiar?
Oh yeah, this part. Yeah, the little Abraham
Don't concern
cameo.
yourself with those portals for now. I need your help with something.
This one is my way of attempting to tie this into the motion comic universe in a way, but it's subtle. It doesn't. You're not going to see it get brought up at all, and well, you will see it get brought up later on. But for now, it's just ambiguous. It's just there. Like, okay, yeah, this takes place in this overall story, but where we just don't know at the moment. Well, I know, but the others don't.
I don't think I got your name. Oh, I named myself Spot. You can go by
Hmm.
that.
The
What's your
first
name?
meeting of Spot
My
and
name
Black
is.
Lightning.
I don't know. I
I
guess you can
think
call me.
I guess there's a question that people might have. It's like now that the series changed to Binary Rose, if I could redo everything, would I still have this character name as Black Lightning? And I guess it would make sense to have that name in the animated universe. Hopefully, in the motion comic, if in the motion comic universe I get to that point, and it's a big story revelation in chapter 8,
Black Lightning.
and
Black
when that's
Lightning.
revealed,
Got it. Cool.
I will come back to this question. But yeah, I will do things a bit differently in the motion comic, but not in the animated universe. I know it sounds confusing now, but eventually that'll be explained. And oh my gosh, my first 2 patrons back at this time. So amazing. I oh my gosh, I appreciate you guys. So yeah, that's the. I guess I'll just play this outro just this time around. There's no point in me playing through the opening and ending for each of these chapters. And this one, I try to incorporate both the animated and motion comic universe. As you can see, the evil version of Black Lightning, he is animated version only. But of course, his name is Null, not Evil Black Lightning. I try to give them their own names. And Abraham is the big baddie of the motion comics. So you see the two big baddies of both respective universes. And yeah, we have demonic creatures and cyborgs there. I mean, of course, Multiverse Chamber Chapter 2, they have an actual name, but for now, we're just going to call them demonic creatures because we saw the angel and demonic dichotomy there with Abraham and evil Black Lightning. Or, no, jeez, no. So the next one is, what the heck is Nuwapu? Oh yeah, this is before I gave a bit of a hook or an opening before the actual opening start. I guess there's one thing I would like to talk about here. It's this guy. Who is this character here? He appears in all of these openings, but he's not been introduced yet. In due time for sure. And at the rate I'm going, he might get revealed sooner than I thought. But yeah, he's also an animated only character. And whether or not he's an antagonist or protagonist, who knows? Only time will tell. But yeah, this masked guy is very significant in the story. Alright. Holy crap. Yeah, this is when I was moving out of this sketching in the shadows. Because I started off in the previous, well, I guess the experimental chapters leading into season Cyan, the last two season Orange chapters. And yeah, that I don't like. I mean, it's cool in a way, but because this art style of mine isn't complete yet, it's not where it's at now. It's kind of distracting because where's the shading? Where's that kind of sketchy shading here? The underneath the brow ridge here is missing there. So it's a bit distracting for me. It seems incomplete. It's probably just me. I'm probably just heavily nitpicking my own work, but yeah, I guess that's what happens when you look at your old work and you've been improving a bit. Oh yeah, this is cool. I like the camera pan like that. It's very fast, but oh yeah, vehicles.
Sure you know
oh my gosh. This here. I was just moving out of my comfort zone big time because this vehicle looks oh my gosh, this is in the way. But yeah, you can see the edges are not straight. If done again, I would do it a lot better. In fact, I did a little mock-up sketch of a vehicle, and it turned out a lot better, and a lot more organic looking. Well, not organic, but it looks a lot better than this. Let's just say that.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Relax. Have I ever let you down before?
This is the first time we've met.
Exactly.
Why did I
The
pick
feminine voice kind of holds up.
Hey everyone.
Of course, I got a little bit better.
Thoughts about Nuwapu before I do actual research on it. For some reason, I think it might speak
This is
cultural
really cool.
values lived by, or some sort of religion based on Egypt.
But of
Let's
course,
see how far off I am in the next sec.
it has this bit of a Dora the Explorer feel to it. It's like, yeah, I'm turning to the camera and I'm talking to the audience, but the other characters can't hear me. And there's only so far I can take that.
We're here. The treasure has to be inside.
Alright, let's check it out. Well, I wasn't off by much. I'm going to start off by addressing a
Yeah.
blog site based on Nuwapu.
Having an entire story told in this format, it limits me very much, like big time. There's just no way I could tell a story
And
this
it
way.
states that Nuwapu is the ancient spiritual science of all melanated
And
people
honestly-
throughout the universe, And it's the only science which can place us in our right minds. Okay,
I guess
I
if,
stepped into some heavy.
since this is still the vlog side of things, does this still hold, like, opinion wise? This is a long opinionated section here. So, do I still agree with this? Actually, 100% still. I don't think my opinion changed here. It's just the typical, my religion is better than yours, agree with us, without giving us any reason, not giving us any compelling reason to do so. It's like, you agree with it if you already agree with it type of deal. And yeah, I don't think I changed much there. I like how I try to make the background move a bit here, but as I said, I was still pretty limited. I would never go back to this style of videos again. However, dang it, I lost my thought. I was gonna, oh yeah, what I was planning on doing is, oh, 1 second. I'm sorry. I got a little paranoid. I was like, is this still recording? What I, if given a chance, would I redo the first 3 chapters of the motion comic universe? I wish I could.
We need light. I wonder if I
But
can start a fire of my powers.
You
that's a lot of work. I
can't.
really
You
want
see,
to
our
continue
light-swing
on.
abilities aren't like normal.
Got it. Come on. Let's go check inside.
That's funny. Uh,
For this
It's
segment, I'll be talking about
okay,
speaking
but
Nuwapian
yeah, I
language.
really do
There's
wish
a
I could
B
have
in there instead of a P.
redo all
So
of
this
this
blog
and make it a
states that
fully fledged
Nuwapian
motion
is the
comic
original
chapter
word, and
instead of
Nuwapian
this
is the alternate
vlog
version.
here,
So out of respect, I'll
this
use
vlog chapter,
Nuwapian.
but motion
What's
comic
amazing is that
elements
Dwight
attached
York,
to it.
someone I'll talk about in the next segment, created his
And yeah, this one I'm being really nice here. I actually do agree that this making a working language is very commendable. And yeah, this is me being nice
from
because
teachers
I
from
think
Sudan and Egypt.
at this point I was starting to become very tired of the toxic nature of politics online. So I was being very charitable here. I was making sure to bring up the good in this religion, even though I may not agree with it. So making a working language of their own, that's great. That is really cool. Very inventive. And it seems to be a working language. I'm just worried that due to the low amount of people who actually agree with it or who adopt it, I'm not sure how useful it'll be in the real world, like how, or practical it'll be to learn this. So that's the only problem. But other than that, to have a working language, that is amazing. And or yeah, of course there will be people who will say, well, just because it's not English doesn't mean it's less valuable. Yeah, sure, but in a English-dominated society, you're going to need to learn English. You can't just replace English with this Nuwapian language. So, yeah, if you want to have 2 of these languages at the same time, sure, go for it. But make sure you know English so you can navigate in this society of English-dominated society, is what I'm saying. But if you like this language, have fun. Knock yourself out.
Segment, you'll find out why I do not like Nuwabu,
And just some
and I'll
food
talk
for
about
thought.
the creator of the Nuwabian nation.
Look over here. It looks like we're going down.
This place has
I
been
like the lighting,
abandoned for
but the
centuries. What makes you
the
think
dark
that-
area should be
It
a little bit
works.
lighter.
Come on.
You know what? I'm gonna try to make sense of
At this point, I'm thinking that Black Lightning is like the Squidward
Now
in this
let's talk about
universe,
the creator
and
of the Nuwabian
Megan
nation.
is this
The creator
SpongeBob
of
character.
religious
It's like just
movement
having
is
a great
named
time
Dwight
and
York,
fun.
and is also known
And
as
Black
Malachi
Lightning is just trying to
Z.
add some rationality
He
here.
went
Like,
from
wait a minute,
creating
that don't
black
make any
Muslim
sense. And then
groups
just
in
goes in
1967 to this
favor
mix
of Megan. I
Kemetism
like
and
that.
UFO religion in the late
Who knows? I
1980s.
might bring these two
Actually,
together
that wasn't
again
what
at some
UFO
point.
religion was, but it basically means the existence of UFOs
But wow, it's
or
been a minute.
extraterrestrial beings
So I
are an
guess
element
for
of his
now,
belief. His group started
Ben,
New
in a
York, but
way,
eventually
is
settled
somewhat
in Georgia. Things
the
took a
Black
turn for the
Lightning.
worst when the Nuwabians
She's
began
just doing her
antagonizing
thing, but
white
Ben
people
is
with their
like,
movement
this is
by distributing
stupid.
racially charged leaflets to them, and while doing
I like
so,
that. Megan
alienating
is
black
cool.
people.
She's a fun character
They
to
were
write.
labeled a black
She's just so
supremacist movement
carefree.
at this point, and the creator was arrested.
And yeah, once again, my opinion didn't change much here. The guy is a pretty bad guy. And I don't like the idea of
Hi.
mixing
I didn't know.
racism in your religion. Like, if you want this religion, sure, go for it. your personal. I believe religion is a personal belief, and you don't, if it's something you really believe about the nature, the reality of the universe you're in, then
But
yeah,
they existed until
go
this
for
topic
it.
was suggested.
Uh, you have every right to believe that, and I don't think anyone should force you to believe a certain way. However, I do take issue with the racism bit. I, it's just unnecessary. It's nothing but division. If your belief causes further division of people, then I just can't support you at all.
To me. So now I'm going to give my thoughts on
It's
Nuwapians.
just
Obviously, I will
divisive.
never pick up this belief system because
Yeah.
it's just like the other religions. They offer teachings from a supposed higher power
Teachings
with
of
no proof of
supposed
their
higher
existence and
power.
expect
Yep,
us
yep.
to blindly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not. If you've seen my content before now, you should be able to pick up my beliefs here as an agnostic atheist. I mean, it's nothing new or revolutionary here.
It looks like someone beat us to it.
Seriously? All of this for nothing? Let's get out of this creepy place.
And here I was trying to. It's really interesting trying to draw a obviously masculine character, well, not obviously masculine, but a character with a male body, but in a feminine way. It's hard to do actually because it requires knowledge of human anatomy. You have to know what a male body is and a female body is. So no matter how they dress it up in their natural form, it has to follow that form. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm triggering the dysphoria of any trans people out there, but of course, if you're on HTR, then yeah, it's going to change it. But this is a character on, who's don't plan on having sexual reassignment surgery or not on hormones at all. So his body, no matter how much he dresses up femininely, it has to adhere to the masculine form. But yeah, it's going to be different for trans people, obviously. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, this part. Yeah, she ends up taking the treasure, and so I wanted to tie that in later on because wait a minute. So she found the treasure and hid it from Black Lightning. So I mean, she should be loaded a bit, right? What's the value of what she took? And yeah, I'm going to bring that up at some point. So yeah, you should expect it in the next Ben and Megan chapter. But yeah, going back to the transgender thing, I hope I didn't. Uh, I hope the people got what I meant there. I didn't mean to make it seem as if, yeah, as you can see, like, yeah, Black Lightning's male body. You have the broad shoulders here, and the waist won't be as protruding as much. Typically, in a female body, you'll see this protrude a little bit more. You see the waist get a little bit bigger. But yeah, I'm quite sure people. Actually, I'm probably just being paranoid here. You guys, I don't think anyone's that upset or will get upset over that. Okay, so chapter 2 of the motion comic chapter. What's next after Earth? And I really enjoy these kind of chapters, the space exploring chapters. If given the opportunity to do this over again, I would love to make it where Spot and Black Lightning are traveling this galaxy. I can't say universe, it's just galaxy. They're stuck. Well, not stuck, but the story is focused on a specific area in the Milky Way galaxy. This story doesn't expand the entire universe because that would be too broad. And yeah. Oh yeah, this is Planet Earth 1, so this is the original Planet Earth. Which is really cool. And hopefully I get to explore it again. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, yeah, chapter 1 of the motion comic universe. Motion comic story. That takes place on the new Earth, Earth 2. Like, it's a Earth that's been replicated. I mean, it's a replicated version of the original Earth. So, yeah, more of that lore will be explored later on, but as of now, I'm sorry, excuse me. There's a there's a new Earth that there are humans living on. It's called Earth 2. So I'll explore more of that at the moment. But right now, the story is really isolated on select few characters related
Hello, my name is Spot. I'll
to
be your
Black
pilot
Lightning
today.
I'm
such.
Black Lightning. Where are we going?
And this
Not sure yet.
is the first meeting of Spot and Black Lightning. What is going on? Why is he? Are they meeting for the first time in the animated chapter, and also meeting for the first time in a motion comic chapter? Like, what is going on with this story? Where's the continuity, dude? But yeah, there are some clues here. I won't tell you why, but yeah, I mean, Black Lightning woke up without any idea of what's going on. Like, he doesn't have his memories in the animated chapter, but shouldn't Spot know? So, what's going on? Who knows? I won't
The
tell you.
possibilities
That's
are
all I would tell
endless.
or say about
Hey
that.
everyone. Earth, as far as we know, is the only planet.
But yeah, this part right here is just info dump. Info dump, info dump, info dump, info dump. Who cares? I mean, I care, but I don't want to go through that again because it's just standard info dump.
And a heartbeat.
Here are the planets.
I found a planet. Hold on.
Yeah, I really like this. This is cool. Just going to different planets.
Beautiful, but that planet does.
Yeah, that right there is a problem. I'm glad I've learned how to fix that. What I was doing was I was using the original color and tried to carefully shade it using that original color, but really all I could have done was use the color drop tool, pick the color from that, and smooth it so there's this easy, smooth transition between the colors to give that dimension. But I didn't notice at the time. I could have. All it would have took is for me to realize that, oh, eyedropper tool and pick the value to best represent the dimension at that area. But this is a learning process. I really like the colors here.
I
That's
must
so
have gotten
colorful.
a false read. I'll keep looking. Give me a second.
And yeah, that was a bit problem there. The outlines are very messy. It's like, well, no, dude, you need to clean that up. I'm glad I did clean that up. Even the chapters I have released now, the lines are a lot more cleaner. I'm sorry if the chair and stuff and movement is getting into the recording. But yeah, the lines are a lot cleaner now. So I'm glad I fixed
Give
that.
me a second.
So climate change would have happened without our influence, but
Yeah, climate change, the whole 9 yards, possible candidates, where to go.
cool. It's going
Once
to
again, I'm sorry, but these opinion pieces where I'm just giving you my opinion on topics, as fun as it was, I just can't bear it now because I don't know, like in this political sphere, I'll let this
way
play.
to becoming
And it's-
habitable to
Well,
complex.
never mind, that could be distracting. But in this political sphere, where we're just letting our egos, not egos on display, but just showing us, sharing our knowledge or perspective of the world, it could come off as authoritarian. No, oh my gosh, where am I getting this? I'm sorry, I'm probably nervous and I'm not using the terms correctly here. But it's come off as I'm sharing this view and this is the truth. Even though it shouldn't come off that way. I don't want it to come off that way, but somehow people just take my word for things and just run with it, and I don't like that. I like to challenge people, well, get people to challenge me actually. I want people to disagree with me, and there are people who disagree with me in the comment section. Those are not dogmatic trolls like the alt-right. And oh my gosh, we'll get into that because the last chapter I would like to talk about, the white genocide, is coming up next. But yeah, there are genuine people who disagree with me, and I enjoy that. I encourage that a lot. But there are people who take what YouTubers have to say on face value and don't apply any hint of skepticism. And that was a bit of a problem. So I'm glad I changed my content around a bit. So now you have characters present who do disagree with me. I'm being very charitable here with these characters who disagree with me. like for James, you'll see that big time in chapter 7, which I'm working on now. Big time. He's these two characters, James. I don't know why I'm saying me. Like I'm somewhat detaching myself from Black Lightning. Like, yeah, you can call me Black Lightning, but the character Black Lightning is gonna have some differences from me in real life. But yeah, Black Lightning and James, they are fundamentally different. Black Lightning represents humanism, and James is black separatism or black nationalism. Like, yeah, I forgot. Two, they're not the same thing. Some people black who are black nationalists don't want the races to be separate. They just uh, want to make sure that black people have a home or like a hub for for themselves, but wouldn't mind engaging in or talking or communicating with the white people. So yeah, not all black separatists are black nationalists, but I mean, not all black nationalists are black separatists, but due to the nature of separatism, it does lie on black nationalism or racial nationalism. So yeah, it goes one way, not the other way around. If you get what I'm saying here. So I'm being very charitable with these beliefs. These are arguments I've heard black people who happen to be black nationalists say. So we'll get into that much sooner. So
Life
oh boy.
that's planets like. Life could exist in the lakes of liquid methane on
Okay,
Titan. If
so
this is the case,
back-
Titan could
so back to what's next after Earth. Sorry, I had a bit of a thing to attend to. All right, so this part of the chapter, I enjoyed this part of the chapter more out of the
found another planet.
everything else. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it, but
Whoa!
I like the transition there.
Spots. This one is barren. This seems
I'll just let it play.
pointless. Was a planet like Earth really that rare? Welcoming planets should be plentiful in this galaxy. What gives? You've only seen less than 1% of the galaxy, and you're already giving up? Have some patience. To think we're just space dust from an exploding star is incredible, huh? Yeah.
Here, Spot and Black Lightning have this bit of a, I wouldn't say heartwarming, but it's more like a thing where, okay, Black Lightning is kind of desperate. He really wants to see if there's life on other planets. And as you can see, eventually he gets to see that, but my gosh, like what's taking it so long? There should be all over the place, but not every planet has life. So Spot is like, hey, just be patient. Like, they're out there. And then they have this not humiliating, but humble moment here where they realize that, wow, we came from that. Like, not specifically this star, but a star, like the dust that coalesced into a chunk of rock in space, along with the other elements to accompany it. It's like, wow, like we came from that. That's amazing, and it took years, like billions of years, but here we are. It's really humble. Like there's that's what I meant to say. Humility. And yeah, this part, I wish I could have incorporated a lot of this into a story, but it has that Dora the Explorer moment where it's like, does this tangent here really matter? These talking segments, and it kind of lowers the rewatchability of these kind of videos. At least the older ones. These at least have a bit of a story interwoven into it, so it allows me to watch. I can come back to these first 3 chapters for fun. And oh my gosh, Pepper, really? Stop. Yeah, but I can come back to these chapters, and they're a lot of fun to come back to, but not as fun as the later motion comic chapters, which I can watch from start to finish without a problem.
Anyways, thanks for watching and take
And
care.
here's the last
I
part
have a
here.
good feeling about this one. Are you sure? Yep, sit back.
And he has a good feeling. But we end up realizing that, although it doesn't explicitly say it, because I wanted these chapters at first to be their isolated story. Like I didn't plan for it to have this overarching plot for the motion comic chapters. So that's why they seem so disconnected. Because I think I explained it, like the story so far, that these chapters there's a point A and point B and point C, but how to get to each point is completely nonsensical. So yeah, they're so the moment from chapter 1 to chapter 2 is can't I can find a way to explain it or fill it in the gap if I wanted to, but at the moment it just seems so jarring. Like, okay, he was just on Earth 2, searching for treasure with Megan. So and now he's on Earth 1 and meets Spot for the first time and they're exploring the galaxy. And yeah, that's just okay. Where's the continuity here, dude? Sorry, once again, another paranoid trip there. Trying to make sure it's still recording. So here we go. This chapter, Planet Anil. This is actually, if this planet is a redone version of the my first attempt at this planet. Uh it was a planet at which the following topics took place. Um, is amorality good or bad? Uh, is about, and there was another one about transgender people and homosexual people, and then the third one, which was my first dabble into the whole idea of race. Race is a social construct, and oh boy, did people attack then. I never had that many dislikes before, and I thought, oh my gosh, could I have been wrong here? But really, I thought about it. It's like, no, this is just popularity here. Like, of course, yeah, I could be wrong, and in hindsight, I could have done that video much better than I did now. I actually have the knowledge to support myself there. But back then, I was just dabbling in these subjects head first, without a lot of research put into it. Like, it was enough research to say, okay, I got a bit of a grasp at the topic, but not to the point where, okay, I am fully well researched here. No, not how I am now. Now I pretty much have, I don't have everything figured out, but I have enough figured out to the point where I have a pretty strong opinion of race, science-wise and social-wise. So, yeah, white genocide is absurd. Planet Anil.
Are you sure this is going to work? As soon as I begin,
Which I
the
believe
Ultra will
means
know our
like the wind
location.
god.
Are you ready? Start the mission.
Sorry, I don't have my notes with me. I should pull them up, but I don't want to go through everything. And boom, and a lot of people, I don't know if people wondered this, but that light in the sky, like, what is that? Once again, the plot of these first 3 chapters, you're still going through the idea of nonsensical, the realm of absurdity. So, and what it means is anyone's guess. But at the moment, since I'm trying to rationalize the plot, because now I want there to be some continuity here. You could just see that as Black Lightning and Spot trying to send their message about white genocide to other people. They're kind of broadcasting it, but the alt-right doesn't like it, so they're trying to take it down. Of course. Oh, no, I can hear the alt-right champing out like, "We don't do that," or it's just some of our members. You can't blame the whole. Like, yeah, I get it. There are not everyone. Hashtag not all. However, you have to realize that there's a lot of nasty members in alt-right who would do that, and also, yeah, of course, there are people on the left who are false flag videos as well. So yeah, that is very true. But just keep in mind that in this instance, since I'm talking about the alt-right here, I'm more likely to be flagged or not flagged. Well, yeah, Like, that's possible. It hasn't happened. Actually, yeah, I have been flagged before. I don't know who, but yeah, I've been flagged before. I had to wait the 3 months so my channel go in good standing again. But most likely, the big dislikes, the amount of dislikes I'm getting, and when I upload this video in particular, there will be a more alt-right people doing that. I can't imagine a far left person coming here to dislike a video challenging the alt-right. That's just not going to happen. If anything, they're going to champion it, or they'll say, well, I like what you did here, but you didn't go far enough. That is it. Or they could say, I just don't care. I want to move on. Those are the three options. I will be hard pressed. You too will be hard pressed to find a lefty or a far left person disliking this video because I'm going after the far right.
Hey everyone, white genocide is
If anything,
a
that
white
tribalism
nationalist
kick in and
conspiracy
they'll
theory
say,
that
yeah,
masked
I'm
third-world
with you
immigration,
here.
integration,
So yeah, so in this moment,
miscegenation,
I'm more
low
likely to
fertility
get
rates, and
the alt-right
abortion are being
having a
promoted in
fit over
predominantly
this
white
video.
countries in
And
an
more
attempt to
so
make the
when
white
I
race go
upload that
extinct.
race realism
Anti-racism
chapter.
is code
My
word
gosh,
for
I'm expecting a lot of them to chimp out.
Miscegenation, for those who don't know, means interbreeding of people considered to be of different races.
Yeah, this
I
is
will say
another
this-
thing. Like, for the most part, this white genocide video, the message behind it, I agree with it 100%. Like I said, these 3 chapters here, they have a well-reasoned position, well-supported recent position. So I don't have a problem with what I said. If anything, I would like it to be done in a more subtle way, not this direct way where I'm talking to the audience. I'd rather just show why it's wrong. Yeah, oh yeah, look at the statistics. YouTube scholar here giving you the statistics and the sources. Yeah, I mostly agree that, yeah, 100%, everything I said here, I agree with. Even in the, I guess some parts could be debated in the what's next after Earth, like because a lot of that later part is speculation, but here I agree with 100%, Nuwapu 100%. So yeah, white genocide is stupid. These guys, this website here just pretty much detailed their entire position. It's just nonsensical. It's made for people who already agree that there's a problem. And that's a problem in of itself. If your message is only for people who already agree with
Levels
you,
of
then
laws chasing
yeah,
down
you're not going to
enforcing
get
white
new
areas
people
of-
in there unless there's people already racist, in a way. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, you're calling
No
this
evidence.
racist." That's just it. Like, I tried my best to avoid calling them racist. I tried to play the whole centrist route, but no, these guys, they'll still treat you crap no matter what you do. They just don't like being challenged at all, and so they will chimp out for that. And so, excuse me, I'm opening up a can of sparkling water. Yeah. Yeah, these guys, they don't like it when they're challenged, that I've noticed. And it's not about the science or the statistics. They have an ideology and they want to see it through no matter what. So I realized that a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, more like a year ago. So yeah, let's continue.
to back it up. Spot, they're almost here.
They're almost
We'll
here.
have to continue to upload on the hovercraft.
Oh boy. That spot ability. Once again, another thing of the absurdity that I try to do with these 3 chapters. Like, he just happens to spawn a hovercraft out of nowhere. So now that I want to have everything make sense now, I have to explain how that ability works. Which I will. You're going to understand that by chapter 8. How is he able to just have these objects appear out of nowhere like that? So now I have that explained. And oh my gosh, I wish I could have done this sooner and had this a lot more cohesive. In fact, I wish I didn't have to do this in a vlog format.
Hurry!
But yeah,
Your next point is
Oh,
governmental
boy.
refusal
Yeah,
to
I was
remove
being a bit
genocidal
ambitious
policies
here.
that are in
This-
place today. What
if anything,
policies are
this chapter
you
here,
talking about?
is the
Still, you're not
biggest
giving
or
any
highest
examples of this.
potential
Fortunately, I read
of
ahead and
the
found
vlog
1,000
chapter.
examples
This
of
is
their
its
questions
peak
and answer
potential here
segments.
if I wanted to make
So
a
the
story.
first example is the Australian
Like,
government used to have a policy where they would take
you have all
Aboriginal
this
children
going on
who
in
had
the
been put up for
background.
adoption
It feels
and deliberately put
intense.
them in Western families. That's what
There's a
supports the
narrative
symbol.
interwoven in there. There's even an animated fight scene at the end. Like, this is the peak vlog chapter that I've done, which I'm glad I was able to do it with the big bang. I was able to go out with a bang with this, so I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Didn't ever since after this chapter,
Assimilation.
I never went back to it. The little frogs, that's funny. Boom.
We have no fuel and no ammo. This will have to be our last.
Oh
stop.
boy,
We'll
I
hold
gotta
them off here.
see. Oh boy.
It's been a
See, the character model is shifted. Look at that. The face is a lot more narrow there at the bottom here. That should be happening there. If anything, I get nowadays. I got the character models on T now. I'm using basic shapes to shape the characters, and so that off modelness that happened here won't happen often. Not anymore.
I'd you, Black Lightning. Likewise.
Oh
But stay
boy.
focused. They're on their way here.
That's the words of
The
someone
only
who
case of white
knows things
genocide-
are about to go down. It's an honor fighting with you. Oh no. I kind of because well, I will talk about it a little later. But yeah, here's me just whoa, this is a long part. Me just saying and trying to appeal to the humanity of these people. Like, no, I don't think you guys are monsters, but you got to admit that your movement attracts bitter people. But yeah, that doesn't work. Like, you got at some point you got to realize that this kind of approach doesn't work anymore. Like, it doesn't work. Yeah, these guys are so they justified it to the point where they believe that they themselves are the heroes. What they're doing is for the greater good. They really believe that, as much as you believe that you are fighting for the greater good. So you can't approach them this way. This doesn't work. They're just that far into that ideology of white genocide and race realism and ethno-nationalism. White ethno-nationalism. They really believe that 100%. And there's no point in going on and on about you guys, you got it all wrong. We have to, at the moment, we have to re-explain why racism is bad. That's how bad things have gotten. we have to re-explain why racism is bad. Because I know I'm playing this centrist role here. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a lefty here. But yeah, even I have to challenge the left. Because I have to realize that there are bad actors on the left. There are people on the left who do things that may not be for the best interest of the movement, of their cause. So yeah, there are people on the left who just overuse the word racist. They call everyone who disagree with them racist or Nazis, and not everyone. And there are people who did deserve it. They were actually racist. They're just covert with it. But there are a lot of them who weren't actually racist. They just had this controversial view, and we kind of the term racist have been overused to the point where now these people laugh when they're called racist. They take it as a badge of honor. Like, oh yeah, I'm racist. Yeah, look at what these lefties called me. Oh yeah, were you called Hitler today? Oh, I was. Yeah, they take it as a badge of honor now. So you can't. You have to explain now. You can't just go through these words, these buzzwords, and say, "Oh, you're racist," and you expect them to get it. Like, "Oh yeah, that's bad." No, now you have to explain why. Now you can't use single terms now, and that's where we're at, and we're at that now.
Think it is. Anyways,
Okay.
thanks for watching.
Here's
and take care.
See, this is the problem with the vlog chapters. I'm spending more time talking about the ideology now instead of the lore, the story. And hopefully, I'm not. But that's just it. There's not much of a story in these first three chapters. They're really simple, actually. They're like more like isolated slice of life. So here's the fight scene here. This is still well animated. It still holds up. I still like it. Boom, boom, Wing Chun. It's really short. But yeah, if you haven't noticed, Black Lightning's fighting style is Wing Chun. And Spots is more of a swordsman, like freestyle for swordsman. He uses that energy blade to cut down his foes.
It's almost done. Ah, Black Lightning.
Yeah, they get taken down by the Pepes.
Get off of me.
At the moment, I've just used. A lot of people were concerned because I was just using just the whole idea of Pepes as a purely alt-right thing. In actuality, they're not purely alt-right. What they used to be wasn't alt-right at all. The alt-right just co-opted it and changed it in this image, much like how I explained in my How a Meme Was Hijacked video or chapter. So yeah, you have to forgive me that there aren't any red shirts on these Pepes. They're just standard Pepe. Oh boy, dramatic. It's just the end of Black Lightning. Ray. And boom. They get separated by this mysterious energy. It was just like so much. How I explain is that it released so much energy that it actually tore a hole, or I'm quite sure. There's probably a astrophysicist bashing her head in right now. It's like, that's not how it works. But I'm sorry. I'm not a specialist in the field. I just did what sounded cool at the moment. Now I'm more concerned about consistency and make sure it adheres to current knowledge or current understanding of science. But at the moment, it just tore a hole in space and it created a wormhole. It sucked up the Pepes. They went their own way, and Spot went his own way, and he got separated from Black Lightning. I'm sorry if that doesn't make sense in the realm of reality, but it's just what happened in the story. Forgive me
Hey,
for being a mere
we did
layman
it.
who
Spot,
wanted to do
did you see
something
that?
cool.
We.
And yeah, I kind of wish I didn't do this so sudden or so soon. I wish I could have developed their friendship a little bit more before they got separated. But at the moment, they just, because I wanted these two to be like their own little duo, like Black Lightning and Spot, traveling the galaxy. And now it's just, oh, they're separated now, and they kind of splinter off. I don't know, maybe when they eventually meet up again, maybe it'll make it that much dramatic, where it's like, wow, they've been separated for a long time. And yeah, it's been a minute now. And the next time we see Spot isn't until chapter 6 here. In the motion comics, of course, but of course, animated is different time scale, or a different chapter. But yeah, that's all of the chapters I'm going to say or talk about for now. I don't want this to be too long, but yeah. So to recap, the story isn't that complex at the moment with these first 4 chapters I've showed you. The first animated chapter is more of a foundation, or there's this building block here, and it leaves so much open. There's a lot of questions, not enough. None of these questions are answered really. Not until chapter 2. Some answers do get, and some questions do get answered. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for so long. And the first 3 vlog chapters, there's not much of a story to comment on. So really all you're getting is that, yeah, if I really wanted to, I would have done these differently and make them purely motion comic format. But it works as what it is. It's just these slice of life chapters trying to experiment with this style, and it doesn't it doesn't finally become what it is now until chapter 4. Are you still a coon? So that's where I'm going to start next time. Let's talk about Are You Still a Coon? And yeah, the next 3 motion comic chapters and chapter 2 of the animated chapter. So I'll see you then.